Welcome to the first part of the Shea Yarn Crochet Along to make a stitch sampler cardigan. While this challenge is going on, I'm going to have the details for it pinned at the top of my profile. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, but you do want to know what I'm talking about, go to my profile and check it out there. By the end of this video, you are going to have all of the crocheted ribbing you need to start your own cardigan. So we are going to start with our crocheted ribbing, and I'm using my smaller hook for that. That's the 4.25 millimeter hook. And I will be using my ivory, the white yarn for this, but obviously feel free to use whatever color that you have. When I'm making crocheted ribbing for something, I like to make all of it in advance. I find that it makes a more consistent ribbing. So you're going to make 5 different pieces. You're going to make each of your wrists. You are going to make the back of the cardigan, and you're going to make the 2 front pieces all at the same time. And I covered crochet ribbing in our little stitch tutorial for this, but just a quick reminder, you are working, you are chaining on like this, and then you are working like this. So I am going to chain on, I want the ribbing for this one to be a little bit wider than for my original. So I am going to chain 11, and then obviously skipping that first chain. So we will have 10 active stitches. This is how many I'm going to work for my ribbing. The first row, again, is just single crochets. So then you are just going to, every row after that, work on the back loop, and you're going to stack your crocheted ribbing up like that. And then you will have it's going to stack up around like that. So you're going to make 2 pieces wide enough to fit around your wrist comfortably, a piece for the back of your cardigan, and then 2 mirroring pieces that together are as wide as the piece you made for the back of the cardigan for your front panels. So this is what it will look like after the first few rows. So we have finished our crocheted ribbing. We have 2 identical pieces for our wrists. We have 1 long piece for the back of the cardigan. This was 15 active chains across. And we have the 2 pieces for our front. I didn't count rows as I went, but the measurements for these are, the wrists are 6 inches for mine. The ribbing for the back of the cardigan is around 19.5 inches, and the ribbing for the 2 front panels are just about 9.5 inches. So the ribbing's all done, and before we can get to the fun part, we have to do, in each of these pieces before you work in them, you're going to want to put in a row of single crochets along this edge so you have something to grab onto when you actually start doing the fun stitches. As I said in the tutorial, the more you're going to be using your same color that you used in the ribbing, and the more stitches that you put in here, the more of like a bloused out effect you're going to have in your piece. So I'm going to be doing it like this for mine. I'm going to start with the back panel because that's the first piece we're going to work on. So I have latched on with my yarn, and I'm going to be doing the following pattern. This is for the back of the cardigan. This is going to be the first piece that I'm working on, and I will do the same pattern of stitches for the 2 front panels. And that is going to be, we're going to start with 2 single crochets in this first part here. And then we are going to go 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, and I'm going to continue that all the way down for my first row. Here's a frame of reference for how the fit of all the pieces are on my body. So I have the wrists with maybe a finger width of space, but I can easily sew them together and have plenty of room to slide this over my hand. My ribbing for the back panel literally goes basically from the middle line of my shoulder to the middle line of my shoulder on the other side. This is a cardigan, not a sweater, so I don't need it to be a perfect circle around, and I don't want it to be a perfect circle around. But if you match that up with the same line, it can overlap just a little bit if I need it to. Hopefully that helps you with the fitting of yours. So I have 110 stitches across the top of this single crochet row. I actually went back and undid some stitches and redid a few so that I would come to an even 110, because that's going to be a good number to work with and a good number to remember as I'm working up the first part of the back panel. And I will see you back here for the back panel in the next part. That's where the fun begins.